Doom doodly doom doom doom. Pro! Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. We didn't fail the system. The system failed us. The evidence that this electoral system is fundamentally broken is mounting. The electors could have made what the majority of the populace determined was the healthier choice for this country. It would have been legal, completely constitutional, and legitimately democratic. There were petitions to that effect. It was a democratic effort to elevate the true voice of democracy above the drone of an archaic electoral college system. Put in place to give a larger voice to smaller populations, yet remaining in place to prevent radical grassroots demagogues from gaining too much power. You know, like one just did. If the college had actually done what it's supposed to do, Trump would not have been inaugurated. It is my sincere hope and expectation that the Electoral College will be dead in a decade or two. Why keep a system around that fails to do what it's supposed to do and is not nearly in line with our founding principles of democracy? The next several years will be a serious re-examination of our entire electoral system. And there's a good chance that change will happen. Not because of Trump, but after and or in spite of him. Con! The Electoral College deserves to be heavily reformed at least, if not completely gotten rid of. Problem is, there's no way in hell the next election will be rid of it. The Republican Party is the only party to ever have benefited from the college overriding the popular vote. And now, they control the presidency and both houses of Congress, not to mention potentially the Supreme Court. They would have nothing to gain by changing the system. And as we all know, modern politics isn't about policy, it's about gain, it's about winning. Sure enough, we haven't been a true democracy since our inception. We have always been a representative, democratic republic. But now that we are drifting ever closer to a socioeconomic oligarchy, in fact, we already are one, like below, a bit more direct democracy would be very comforting. Unfortunately, we don't have it, and we won't anytime soon. Pro! Gotta work in a California surfer, dude. Trump-grets. Yes, the evidence is already mounting that Trump may have indeed duped a good portion of his voters. There are entire corners of the internet, links below, dedicated to the concerns of these unexpected, additional disenfranchised voters. How did this happen? The reason is twofold. One, he chose a very easy crowd to manipulate. The and undereducated, the angry, the ignorant. And to those people insulted by my description of them just now, go to therapy, take a long hard look at yourself, and get back to me before you try to deny it or call me names. And two, you know how Reagan was the great communicator? Trump is the great manipulator. People thought they were voting for a great businessman because businessmen should know their economics. In reality, they were voting for a con artist. Trump didn't make his fortune by being intelligent in a socially or economically informed way. He retained part of his father's fortune and expanded on it by being clever and conniving in a capitalistic sort of way. He literally capitalized on situations. And the reason that these disappointed Trump voters are only now realizing their mistake is because Trump is very good at what he really does. Faking out the intellectually challenged and emotionally unstable. Calling bullshit? Prove me wrong first. In any case, hopefully as this evidence mounts, effects will arise in kind. Pro! I opposed Trump and his platform because that which was consistent was horrifying, and that which was inconsistent I couldn't trust him to handle well. If he continues to flip-flop based on what he hears as the people's will, and if he actually does hire people who could do a better job than he ever could, this might not be so bad. And if he doesn't, as seems to be the case, the collapse will be instructive. Pro! When appropriate, look to your elders. We all have elders and family members that infuriate us, and for the sake of your own emotional self-care, I advise steering clear of them. But there are those around you who can provide a more helpful and hopeful perspective, and some emotional support. My dad, a conservative Republican for as long as I can remember, was indeed upset by this result, having actively fought against it. Though it gives me frighteningly little comfort, he did say that throughout the years, even though the implications of political consequences seem dire, the reality rarely matches up to the hype. Now to be sure, this election has been a very different beast in many, many ways. One with extra horns and venomous teeth and the skulls of qualified candidates surrounding the mouth of its cave. But Dad has a point. Trump did lose the popular vote, and he still pissed off a sizable portion of Congress, including establishment Republicans who have the majority in the House and the Senate. And as disappointing as it was to see many of them kneel before Trump to service him during the election after swearing up and down that they would never support him, now they have a chance to prove themselves right. Rise and redeem yourself, Republicans. We will be watching you. And by we, I also mean your constituents and supporters. Betray us all again at your own peril. We may very well view this particular point as a mixed blessing. In fact, I am not sure what is going to happen. Though if Trump and the Republicans keep conflicting with each other, there's a good chance they'll cancel out on occasion. In fact, it's already starting to happen, not to mention other branches and echelons of government letting Trump know that his power has limits, and that the majority of the 319 million other people in this country still have a moral center that prevents them from following his bass-ackwards policies. Checks and balances. It just might work. So saith my father. I haven't thought he was right since before middle school, but I sure hope he's right now. Just kidding. Love you, Dad.